Lovely. So aloha, everybody. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Thursday today. And we have our mini Friday, and we have an amazing group here to lead us. We have Kekuhi, and I mean, if you were listening in to Lotus and I chit chat, which I think everybody has to, we got just enveloped. I mean, your content is amazing. It's fun, engaging, extraordinarily educational, and it's keeping us from our real work. So thank you. But I hope that everybody can go check out all of what this group has to offer, because the programs that you guys are putting out are amazing. I mean, I am unfortunately late to the game as of last week, kalamai. But Oli Honua, Ula Ka'ohia, Ka'o Your Life, which, man, I mean, if I were in an office, everybody would be in it, you know? And I love it. And Kamoe, and then of course, Lonoa Honua. I am so extremely proud to have you guys here and to have you guys walk us through this journey. Thank you so much. And just to say, oh, hello, just to let everybody know, we are recording, and this will be available on halavai.org afterwards, as long as any resource that's mentioned here. And of course, if you have any questions, you can reach out to everybody and anybody who's on here, including myself, and we'll be more than happy to get you to the right resources. But I'm gonna stop talking, because you're not here to listen to me. So Avi and Kekuhi, why don't I pass it off to you guys?
Go, Ames.
Mahalo, Stacy. Could we take off the screen share? Okay, mahalo. Wa kia nohoia papa hana moku.
Honua, Hawaii he motu, Honua, Maui he motu.
Ho'ia e oa kia nohoia hohoku kalani.
Honua, maratai he motu, Honua, lana I taule he motu.
Ilio pupuna lua o papaya hohoku kalani ho'i ho o papa nohoia wa kia.
Hanau o ahu he motu, hanau o Kauai he motu, hanau o Nihau he motu, he ula o Kaholame.
Aloha, everyone.
Aloha nui kako. So, Omako Keia, we have Amy here. Steph. Steph, I thought you was going to jump into your moʻokūʻauhau real fast.
No, sorry.
Okay. Steph, and then we have Leahi over there. Yeah, all the people. And then I'm Kekuhi. And we just chanted one of Hawaii's Ko'i Honua, or origin chants, because there are many. And that's the easiest one to sort of get into. It's a perfect one to orient ourselves to not only this aloha he alo space, but really orient ourselves in terms of our relationship to Honua at large. And now Steph is going to bring us a little closer, a little bit more intimate with ourselves and our and the reason why we're here, and share with you her personal moʻokūʻauhau.
O an maravillas haramio no El Colorado no New Mexico no hoya Kirina Loya no Guadalupe Chihuahua Mexico Hana o Susana Haramio he pula pula O Carlos Alvarado Moore no Durango, Mexico. Nohoya Susana Jaramillo no Las Cruces, New Mexico. Hanna o Edward Moore, he Pula Pula. O Edward Moore no Los Angeles, California. Nohoya Ruthann Olsen no Dearborn, Michigan. Hanna o Stephanie Olsen Moore, he Pula Pula. O Hawaii ku'umoku, o Mauna Kea ku'umauna, o Honoli'i ku'uwai a me kai, o Kawau Paliku ku'uaina. Ola.
And then at the end of that, we recognize that she just brought all those people she just puanad out of her mouth, brought them in her space, and we want to recognize them. So after our personal moʻokūʻauhau, she says, Ola, and we respond with Ola.
Ola.
Go make, Ola. That's how to do it. Perfect. Aloha nui kako, if you're able and willing, we're gonna ask you to turn on your cameras. But if you are not able or just absolutely shy, no need, any kind. We're super happy to be with you. I'm glad that our content is feeding you. We try to do as many large communal sharings as we do paid coursework. So I'm glad the conversation online is full of yummy things that you can engage with. And in a little bit, we'll talk about some of the programs that was mentioned. But aloha nui kako. How about we are going to get super intimate super quick, because we don't know how long we get with you folks, or even if we won't see you folks ever again. But once we see you here and we share this personal mele with one another, then the lashing is, the aha is lashed, which means whether you like my pico or not is going to be connected to yours. And there you have it. Ew, gross. Oh, that's how she rolls. Okay, Gengi. So I'm not sure how many of you have already created your personal continuum chant, more commonly known as your genealogical chant. Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. Okay, Kyle G did already. Ames Leahi. Okay. Oh, that's good stuff. Okay, so what we want to leave you, if today, if this evening, if it's and hopefully it's beneficial for you and your family. That's the first thing. When we do quick, kind things like this with community, want to make sure you take in away something that you can immediately turn around and share with your ohana. Okay? Or else, why we like sit around and talk to each other? I don't know. So I guess that's good. Talking is good. But we want to, so we have so this is the format that I share with my first time learners. Okay? So number one, we don't care who you are. In other words, if you get slant eye, if you get blue eyes, if you get blonde hair or red hair or purple hair, if your mother's name is Guadalupe or if your father's name is Oshiro, we care not. We love everybody because might as well. Okay, so did you hear Stephanie's? Stephanie just did a Hawaii formatted mele song or chant, mele song or poem. Moʻokūʻauhau. Can you say mele? I can see your lips moving. Good. Mele. Good. moʻokūʻauhau. Perfect. So even if you're doing mele vanilli, maybe some of you are too young for that. But this is the 80s, guys. Yeah. So, or you're doing it aloud. That was good energy right there. So the mele moʻokūʻauhau is your linear continuum chant, okay? And you heard Stephanie's chant. Did you hear the names? They were not Hawaii. So good, yeah? It's so good. It's so good. And we get to visit Pakistan. We get to visit Mexico. We get to visit Taiwan. We get to visit Bali. We get to visit Kansas. We get to visit Cebu. We get to visit Wales through the names of the people and the places in the mele moʻokūʻauhau. Brah! That's good stuff. You don't need even get on an airplane, okay? Every time I hear that, like this is the first time I think I've heard that one for Stephanie. I'm not sure. Steph, was that the first time you did that? Or maybe I wasn't listening earlier?
A long time ago.
You did this one a long time ago. Okay, right. All right. So I wasn't trying to be confrontational earlier. You know, we no care what color you and your eyes and your hair, where you people from. We're gonna give you this chant format anyway. And we're gonna encourage you to fill it in and share it if it's useful to you. Here's the magic of it. This is why we keep doing it. When you need these people to come into your space, into your brain, into your heart, when you need them to figure out something that they probably figured out already. Probably. Okay? When you need them to bring in their own little spices to your recipe of how to figure out this or that problem. We use the moʻokūʻauhau. Whether you know what they look like or not, just feeling who they are, who they come from, what your connection is with them. So what we've done intentionally in this mele moʻokūʻauhau is we have your human relations first. We'll look at the format in a little bit. So we list our human relations first. What you mean our human relations? It's the only kind we have. No. And then after we list our more than human relations after that. So the mountain, you heard that she went call the mountain. Okay? And then the water source, salt water or freshwater source, she called her water source. Okay? And then the land base that sustains you, she called that land base. Okay? And then the did you do Kulaivi and Aina, or just did you do vow, or which one did you do? You did vow.
Wow, yeah, kalikai.
Okay. So that's the Amy, can we work with the more recent format? Oh, she has like the ancient format. Okay. But we're going to work with a format that includes your kulaivi, that place that you are, that place from where your ancestors are buried and was born. That's your kulaivi. And then we include the space that feeds you currently. Okay? So all of those people in the Hawaii life way, in the perception of the people I come from, there is no difference between the parent who is called a mountain that sustains you from, through the landscape, and the parent who is called the human mother or the human aunt or the step parent or the grandparent who sustains you with language and structure and 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 things like that. In a Hawaii life where every parentage is necessary for your body to take form, for your organs to change every so many months, for your mind to be influenced, and for your spirit to live through. So the water that you intake or that you jump into, it permeates your skin. Then at that point, there's no difference between you and the river or you and that beach. No more. The difference of thinking and language is that many times is that's the primary, we pinpoint that as the difference. I can think, I have a heartbeat, I can form language, I can create. I don't know, have we listened to the language of ocean and river lately? Tons of different sounds, maybe not language as we understand it, but sound is vibration, and that's why we use language. All right? So there, we don't distinguish. All we know is that every relative of ours, star people, moon grandmother, sun grandfather, or whatever gender you like, give them non-binary kind, labels. Do that if that's what turns you on. Okay. Tree, person, earthworm people, sea cucumber people. I'm related to a sea cucumber. Wow, we have more relationship. We have more alike genes in an earthworm than we think, or that some of us are comfortable with. So in the Hawaii, in this way of perceiving, so I invite you to entertain this way of perceiving life for the moment. You don't need to stay there, but it's a fun little exercise. And if you decide to maintain your mele, moʻokūʻauhau, and share it with your colleagues or your family, then awesome sauce. So, okay, so let's play a fill in the blanks game. So I think what we're gonna do is, I want to go over the mele with you. Then guess what? We're going to fill out the blanks, like right now. What? You can give us homework, but I might as well, because we're here. and then we can help you, like right now. Okay? And then we're going to give you a couple of chant techniques that you can choose from. All right? So you can do it in a kepa kepa, you can do it in a kavele, you can do it in a oli oli. What? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay? And then we can, if you want to, break up into smaller groups, and then you can practice. Amy, that's what we're doing.
Yes, and
Okay.
so I
Cool.
just dropped the PDF directly in the chat, guys. If you're on an iPad, you might not be able to get it. So I'm gonna drop actually a Google Drive link to the PDF, and you should be able to download it. Just let me know if you cannot. And I will screen share. Maybe Leahi, are you able to run us through the line by line? Able to?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Leahi. I'm in Maui. Our team is all across Hawaii. So we are glad to connect with you guys here. And you know, the first entry point for mele. So this is a mele, right? And it's a lovely mele because not only are you connecting to your own spaces and your people, all the people that support life, right? But you know, the first entry point for mele is just to say them. And sometimes when we're not as used to some of these words, right, we understand the concept of it, but sometimes when they're not as, you know, used to these words, it can be like, oh, I don't do, I'm uncomfortable. No, today the invitation is to, you know, embrace the opportunity to let these words, let these vocalizations, let these tunes all come out and be spoken and recognized in your spaces. So I encourage you, just like Kekuhi was sharing earlier, that, you know, like the watermelon, milli vanilli, not today, gang. Today we are actually going to say the words. We're going to say the words. So Amy is going to share screen, and what we're going to do is a little bit of I will say the words for you guys, and then you'll respond back to me with your own folks. Okay. Auntie, did you want to say anything else before we start? No, Mekai. Okay, friends. She's giving me the X. That means continue, carry on. So, moʻokūʻauhau. So we'll talk about moʻokūʻauhau. We'll begin to continue to understand what this means for us, right? But we start off with just pick a great grandparent. And sometimes, you know, we don't know the name right off the top of our head, or, you know, it's a little bit, maybe sometimes it's not a linear connection point for us. Our story of connection with people in our lives may be a little circuitous, maybe a little bit cloudy or gray. We don't know yet. And that's okay. Sometimes this mele moʻokūʻauhau is the entry point for us if we're curious about it, to go look into it. So what you can do is just think about a generation beyond your grandparent who you want to call into this space. So if you don't have a great grandparent name, think of somebody in that generation that you might like to call into this space. So
the other thing is, you can just take out that whole stanza, that whole verse with the great grandparent, and make it disappear, and start with your grandparents. And if you know more, you don't know who your grandparents yet. Well, the other thing about just leaving it there and leaving it blank is that your network start to go, oh, I wonder if I want to find this out. I wonder if they're around. When that begins to happen, then that curiosity drives your activating system to look for the answer. So yeah, begin at the generation you currently have information for. Okay? All right. Okay, sorry, Leahi.
no, this is great, because the point of this is that it's useful for you, right? Kikuhi has used that word like a couple of times already. So key into that. The point is that this is useful for you in your space, so that you can call on those connections. And sometimes we don't need words for it, but this is one way to do it with words. Woohoo! And in a Hawaii life way, which is why we're kind of here. Yeah. Okay, cool. So okina is the glottal stop that you see before the letter o. So o. So o, my great grandparent, you're going to insert the name. So don't say that my great grandparent, insert the name. Yeah. O say your grandparents' name. So mine is Daniel Lima Naone, o Daniel Lima Naone, no, N-O is no, right? Kind of like no, but in Hawaii, it's from, it's not like no, like, okay, that's confusing. So no is to indicate they're from a place, okay? So o Daniel Lima Naone, no, Waialua, insert a place name. If you know where they're from, that's where you would indicate. If you have a general idea of where they're from, that's also where you would indicate it. Again, the story that we're connecting into here is put in what you can.
But Leahi, what if I don't know? Leahi, what if should I put the place where my great-grandparent was born, or should I put the place where they died or where they lived?
Yes. So all of the above. So, you know, the wonderful thing about moʻokūʻauhau is that it morphs, it's alive. And so what you do is you choose the place that you want to call in that day. Maybe it's the place where they grew up. Maybe the place where they experienced their formative years, or maybe it's the place that they passed that you want to recognize. So you choose what is most potent for you and what you want to call in on that specific day. And sometimes it's just, you know, it's not very thought out. You just say the first one that comes out, and that is good too. Okay. Okay. So, o great-grandparent, Daniel Lima Naone, no Waialua, and then you drop down to the second, and it repeats. But this time you say the complementary great-grandparent. O Rose Gomes, no Madeira. Okay. So same thing there. Just choose something that works for you. Ha no. So okay, everyone repeat after. Oh, ha no. Oh, I see your lips moving. You're doing so good. Somebody just was born. You just born somebody in your family all over again. Good job. Ha no o, and then this is where you add in the grandparent level. So ha no o Daniel Lima Naone. So as you will notice, I just said the same thing, same name all over again, because it was a junior and a senior. Okay. He pula pula. So he pula pula. Okay, repeat after me. He pula pula. Pula pula is like this beautiful word. Pula pula is like offspring, but it's also like a plant that like regenerates itself too, like a little frond, like your little leaflet. So you're growing this little forest of family. Okay, very nice. And then we drop down to the next section and we do another, you see this repeating pattern. Ooh, repeating pattern, something is continuing. Okay, so o, and then your grandparent name, o Daniel Lima Naone, no kane o he. So again, you insert a place where your grandparent had some form of connection to. Okay, and then we drop down o Eloise Le Nani Liang. So now you add in the grandparent, the grandparent that unioned with C. Okay, so C and D, they're gonna union. Surprise. Okay, and then you add in where that grandparent was from, no. Okay, ha no o, and now we get a parent, ha no o Dana Momilani Naone. He pula pula. Oh, the next leaflet just grew. Hello, welcome, born all over again. Okay, and then we drop down to, so we just did Hanau, or your parent was born. Okay, and then we're dropping down to the parent section. So your parents are unioning Immaculate Conception in this place. Maybe, I don't know, whatever it was for you, name one parent. Listen, that's also real. Sometimes we are Hanai, sometimes we grow up in the care of others. This is where you indicate, you get to choose who you're going to recognize as those people, plant people, whatever. We're in the people section where you get to indicate who nurtured and nourished you. So perhaps if it wasn't, you're not going to recognize the biological organisms from which you came, then you recognize the people whose homes sustained you, whose love sustained you. Maybe it's one person's name, maybe it's an aunt, maybe it's a cousin, maybe it's a sister. That's up to you. Okay, so this is where you have the opportunity to recognize that direct point of connection who sustained you. Okay, so Dana Momilani Naone, that I'm on E, right? Parent E, no kane ohe. And then we drop down to the parent, which is F. Isaac Davis Hall, no nu enelani. This guy that I just recognized, he came from New York, brah. Oh, my dad. Oh, he's from over there with you guys. Okay. Hanau o me. Okay, it's me. It's your turn. You're birthing yourself. Okay. Hanau o Leahi Davis naone. Hall, he pula pula. I'm a leaflet in the continuum. Hoo-hoo. Okay. And then we drop down to now, gang, this is where we continue to recognize all of what Kikui shared with us earlier. All of these sources that sustain our lives, that contribute to our livelihood. This is how we recognize, oh, we're not separate. My skin is not as like hard of a surface separating me from the outside world as I think. I can feel the sunburn a little bit on my face, so I know for sure I'm permeable. Oh, okay. So, so island. Oh, and this is where you pick again. Ha 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 ha. You get to choose again what the place is that you want to connect into today. If it changes tomorrow, it changes tomorrow. If it changes in an hour, it changes in an hour. Okay, so you pick a home, an island, a space. If it's not an island, a space. But what you're seeing at the end, and ku'ukulaiwi or moku, kulaiwi is that place where your ancestors may be a part of the soil that sustains those that come from that place, right? Moku is an island. So just the recognition here is of a space that sustains you. So o Maui, if I'm going to go big like island scale, o Maui ku'umoku, or Honua ula ku'umoku. So you choose right where you are. So let's just say that together. Ku'u, that's like, ku'u is like this belonging, like a part of me. It's not just like ko'u, or it's ku'u, mine. There's this affection between it, right? Okay, ku'u, kulaiwi. And then say moku. Okay, Maika'i, let's drop down to the next one. Now we connect ourselves into a pu'u or mauna, which is the hill or mountain. So we're going to say o, insert hill or mountain. Now, if you live like, okay, one of my girlfriends, she lives just where Steph's ohana, like where Steph took us on the Huaka'i before we started, when we were like hop skipping around, like with Steph's ohana through New Mexico. Flatlands. When she sees trees, she feels claustrophobic. Okay, so when you're in the flatlands and you're not quite sure about like a hill or a mountain, like there's that, you get to, think of a place, hill or a mountain that sustained you, or we can add in something else to indicate what reflects in your space today. Okay, so pu'u, everybody repeat, pu'u, that is a hill. Okay, mauna, mountain. Okay, good. And then one more here. This is where we get to indicate freshwater source or ocean. If you want to be real fancy, there's so many water forms. You could name a cloud, you could name a rain, any kind of water source right around you. A punavai, a spring. Okay, so start thinking about a water source that you really enjoy, that sustains you. Yeah, okay, this is where we put it. Okay, so repeat after me. Ko'u vai. And ko'u kai. So vai is a freshwater source, kai is a salty water source. Same thing, choose something that you need today. Okay, let it live, let that space live in what you need today. And then this like wonderful word, ola. Yeah, life, like capital L kind, like lots of eyes, Life kind of life. Okay, so usually, gangi, we have questions. And remember, this is not about our moʻokūʻauhau. This is about recognizing all the places that are so important to our lives and so important to your life, and why you're going to call on those today. Okay, so we have good questions. Hi, Nicole, our friend. How come the last two lines use ko'u instead of ku'u? Choice, right? So Hawaiian language nerds, sometimes it can indicate a choice, and then sometimes it's just because we need to put in ku'u instead.
Or sometimes it's because I made a typo. But grammatically, they mean the same thing. Unless you actually made the mountain with your rubbish, then it's ka'u mauna, because you made them. Okay. Other than that, it can be ko'u, which is cool, but I actually wanted to use ku'u. So can you write that down? If you're rewriting this for the purpose of filling it out, Can just for this first pass, can you put ku'u, K-U, okina U, just like number, the one above it. Okay? Yeah. That it's not a mistake in language, but it was an oversight. So thank you for catching that. So for today, can you use ku'u? Okay. Mine's one that I love. That one. Not yeah, that's mine's not really mine, but it's right over there next to my house. So that's sort of our sometimes our first relationship to a mountain, a pu'u, fresh water, a piece, a land base. What the word ku'u does, it is it bring languages intimacy. So once you language that intimacy and you begin to puana that thing, you begin to what you call puana, stay it in the context of your continuum, the feeling, and the feeling becomes a feeling of, no, this is not just that mountain over there that I happen to move in that house that happened to be next to that mountain over there. It turns into, oh my god, that Mauna, oh no, that's Mauna Aloa. She, that Mauna, Mauna, Mother Mauna, Father Mauna, Sister Mauna, she gave birth to all my other relatives that I'm going to talk about in the rest of this moʻokūʻauhau. It begins to, the languaging again brings us, I mean, that's what a mele does. Poetry does that. It's supposed to do that. Brings us in a different relationship with the things. It begins to pull things closer to you. Okay? And that's what it's all about. Good question. Okay, carry on, Leahi, carry on.
No, that was a great question. So we like to check a little bit just to see how you guys are doing on filling out your, hello friends. Okay, how are you doing filling out your form? Do you have any questions about Puana? So how we pronounce any of these words, because we would love to be able to eventually at the end of our session today hear some folks and go for a trip and honor your spaces and those you love.
Yeah, totally.
So anybody having any kind of would like a second go around on Puana? Hi, yes.
Hi.
Aloha.
Aloha. Hey, sorry, I was having some technical difficulties. I just got in. I don't know what form you're referencing.
Hey,
Also,
Chris.
aloha, Azekekui. Yeah, hey
Aloha.
everyone.
Haven't seen you in a long time.
I know. My goodness, it's been a year.
Okay, I'm sharing the PDF again, but if you're on the iPad or phone, you might not be able to, so I'll share a Google Drive link.
Oh, I click in the chat. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Moʻokūʻauhau, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Good to see
Thank you.
Okay.
What time will we pau?
Yeah, good question.
2:30.
2:30. Oh,
Hawaii time.
perfect.
Yeah, not, I don't know what time you guys are at.
2:30 Hawaii time. Okay, cool. So, guys, can we so right now we're gonna go into smaller rooms. Yes, we're going. Okay. And then we're gonna work on this. Go ahead and fill it out, and then we'll go around, and you can, as best as you can, talk through your mele moʻokūʻauhau, or your family continuum song chant. All right, and then And then but right now, before we go into those rooms, we want to introduce two different styles. So Amy is going to do an oli oli, the whole thing, her moʻokūʻauhau. Okay? And then Leahi is going to do a semi, so not 75 miles per hour, but like 50 miles per hour? Kepa kepa. Okay, good. All right. So these are the two chant styles. Again, the oli oli is sort of the chanty sound that you hear most of the time when you see traditional hula or when people open up a space. Chris Cato would have, opened up a space and then chanted a something to us all. That sort of thing. Okay, so this is the one we hear most. The oli oli, it has a definite vibrato to it. Some vibrato are a little bit quicker. Amy has a lovely ii, so which is a really heavy, really strong vibrato. We call that an ii. The longer wave we call is a consistent vibrato. So the wave is longer. That's called the kuolo. Kuolo. Okay, the super strong one, that is an ii. Okay. In any case, the oli oli again is chanty. What do you mean by chanty? Well, you'll hear the difference when Leahi does the kepa kepa, which is not chanty at all. There's no vibrato in it. It's more of a talk story chant style, but there's a definite format in the sound. Okay, so the lines follow the same. That format. Okay, all right. Going, what the heck? That's how I explain it. All right. So let's listen to Amy do the oli oli. I'm having them demonstrate because then you can pick which style you want to use. Okay? Go for it, girl.
Aloha. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go and trip to Iapana, the land of the rising sun. Okay. O Seijiro Yugawa no Wakayama, O Haruko Tanaka no Wakayama, Hanau o Hiroyuki Yugawa no Wakayama, O Hiroyuki Yugawa no Wakayama, O Kazuko Kato no Nagoya, Hanau o Sayuri Yugawa he Pula Pula. O Sayuri Ukawa he Pula Pula no o Hiroshi Sato no Niigata. Hanau o Amy Ukaipua Sato no he Pula Pula. O Kauai Kula Iwi o Lau Ku Mauna. O Wai he Ku Wai. Ola.
Hola, loa.
Hola.
Hola.
Okay, so that was, did you hear the chanty? Hello? Did you hear the And then there's not a lot of notes. She didn't throw a lot of vocal techniques in there. Okay, so it's pretty monotone. It's an easy chant style to do. Okay, and then the other thing with the oli oli is you don't even need to put a vibrato in there. You can just go. Ames, can you do the first three lines? No ee. I know she get hard time, but that's you go try 'em, girl.
Okay. O Seijiro Yukawa no Wakayama, O Haruko Tanaka no Wakayama, Hana o Hiroyuki Yukawa he pula pula.
Good job. All right.
That's hard.
Okay. Yeah, that's hard. So in that one, you didn't hear all of the vibrato. So you can do oli oli that way too. Okay. Kind of sing-songy, little bit monotone, oli oli. All right. So Leahi's going to demonstrate kepa kepa, 50 miles an hour, girl. All right.
Okay, here we go. O Daniel Manaone Kamua Homako. Sorry, I'm gonna start again. O Daniel Manaone Kamua no Pele Ula, Honolulu. O Rose Gomes no Madeira. Hanau o Daniel Manaone Kalua. He Pula Pula. O Daniel Manaone Kalua no Waialua. O Eloise Leinani Leon no Kailua. I gotta take off my virtual background. Hana o Dana Momilani Naone he Pula Pula. O Dana Momilani Naone no Kane Ohe. O Isaac Davis Hall no Nu Enelani. Hana o Leahi Davis Naone Hall he Pula Pula. O Hamakualoa Ku'umoku. O Haleakala Ku'umauna. O Pe'ahi Ku'ukai Wola.
Wola.
That was like 30 miles per hour. Sorry, not 50.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. No, that's fine. The point is that people can hear the difference between a kepa kepa, and so not all kepa kepas need to be, Shinkansen train fast. All right. Okay. So now let's go into small groups. It's 2:00. It's almost 2:00. We'll spend about 15 minutes in that small group. You should have been able to fill in some blanks while we were talking and going on with ourselves. Okay. And so in the small groups, we just want you to practice. All right? All right? Okay. Don't worry. We get it. Maybe this is the first time ever you're reading Hawaiian kind words. That's why we here. All right. Let's go. Who's making us go in rooms?
Okay, I'm gonna open the room now. And you guys should have an option to join. Christina, you good? Okay. Aloha, Gengi.
Aloha.
How are you
Aloha.
guys?
Aloha.
Nita
Very well.
Kaji.
Mhm.
Is that how you spell your pronounce your name?
Yes,
Nita Kaji?
yes, Narakazi. It's very phonetic.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Ho'onani. Lotus. Aloha.
Actually, you can call me Wailana. That's
Wailana.
my Hawaiian name.
Okay.
Aloha.
Aloha, Wailana. And Shauna. She's one of our learners. Camilla, too. Okay. Steph, I'll let you take it away because I might have to hop in and out depending on the.
Do you guys have any questions, or how are you guys doing on your filling out?
It's making me think. The current the current place where I have been living is the longest, but I don't consider it my homeland. I consider Hawaii my homeland. So I'm kind of torn here, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the beauty about the moʻokūʻauhau. It's like whatever you're feeling in this particular space and moment, and it can always change as time goes on.
Mm,
And
mm.
like what Auntie was saying, like where you're wanting to connect to more. So it doesn't necessarily have to be where you're physically at right now. It could be exactly like where you feel most connected to.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
Sometimes I have like, because I move a lot, I moved a lot in my life. I have like 3 or 4 different versions of like Kauai, where I live now, where I really grew up in, like grew as an adult in Hilo, and I like pull whichever one that I need in the moment. So
That makes me feel better. I think I'm gonna be like that, having like 3 or 4.
yeah, just have it in your little file cabinet.
Yeah. Just here. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just stick to my physicality right now, my physical location. That we'll start from there.
Yeah, and you know what's really beautiful about this? Like, I think I got this maybe 6 years ago when I was still having a little bit of an identity crisis. As you heard, like all of my ancestors are from Iapana, but
Mhm.
everything I know, I've been born and raised in Hawaii.
Right.
And it really, like, I was kind of just like not looking at my ancestors. And I was just like, I'm in Hawaii, like that's all I know. But then
Right.
this really helped me like line out, you know, who are the people that made me in the places. And then I really like this end part because it is an opportunity to mahalo everything before you, but also mahalo this thing that's feeding you very like right now. Because,
Mm.
you know, even if you feel pili, like I love my home Kauai, but right now I'm drinking the waters and I'm breathing the air in Kahalu'u, Oahu. So I need to like aloha that space too. So
Okay.
I really like, you know, people do lean towards where they were born, but it's a really nice way to acknowledge all those little things that's feeding you today.
Right. Awesome. Mahalo for that, for your ike.
Yeah.
All right. So, White Mountain. Let me see. I have to Google the
I have a
name of the
question.
mauna.
Kyle, you had a question?
What is the term, the Hawaiian term for valley? Is it avava? Or that's right. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. Avava. There's another one. Hold on, let me see. Avava is the more common one though.
And how about for stream?
Kaha.
Kaha?
Kahavai. What kind of stream is it? Is it like a little rivulet?
It's like mountain water, so fresh water. Um,
Yeah, Kahavai would be the best.
Kahavai.
Were you thinking of doing a valley instead of a mountain?
Yeah, just because where I'm from California is where I was born and raised, and I grew up like kind of in a valley near a stream, and so I'm thinking maybe I'll include that.
Oh, I love that. Yes. Kahavai, yeah. I'll let you know if I find the other word for valley, but yeah, Avava is
Oh,
good.
thank you.
I was just looking up in Vehevehe valley, and so Avava is one of them, but Kahavai is also another word for valley. I didn't know that. Yeah, learning something today.
Awesome.
That makes sense. Yeah, it creates that valley.
Kahavai. That's the image that I thought of it instantly was like this cradle. So I want to represent that somehow.
It's very like a feminine nurturing sign too, this valley. In Hawaii
Mhm.
culture, this is very feminine. The valley is a feminine space for like, it's like reproductive, very, what is it called? Fertile.
Fertile.
Yeah.
Pearl. So a Hawaii would capture that or avava. What would you say?
The more common one is Avava.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have another question. So I live close to the White Mountains. Best word to use in this, the most descriptive, I guess, word for white that I could use in regards to the White Mountains. Should I stick with the keʻokeʻo? Just plain white? I was looking at the vehevehe.org site, so there are a lot of options.
Where are you? If I don't mind asking.
No, yeah. I live in Maine, and I'm on like really close to the border of Maine and New Hampshire, and so the White Mountains is the tallest Mauna here in the Northeast. So I see her right at my backyard. Like I just look out the window, there she is.
I'm Googling it right now. Oh, that looks
yeah.
beautiful. Does it snow? Is that why?
Oh yeah.
Really
It's
white? Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I'm wondering, so we do have a lot of learners from the States, and what they do often, I don't know if there probably is. There's most likely is, but there's like probably an indigenous name for.
I was gonna ask you if I should do that too. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be it's always been fun watching our learners kind of start to learn their place names that was before colonization. So that's a good one. If you can't find it, then I would either just stick to White Mountain, because you might confuse people if you like create a new name, like if you put a Hawaiian name to it.
Yeah, okay.
People in Hawaii will be like, which one's that?
Yeah, they're like, there's no White Mountain here. What are you talking about?
I mean, we have Mauna Kea here, which is like the white, basically the White Mountain.
Exactly. And I was like, oh.
That might confuse a little bit people on which White Mountain you're talking about. But I really, really recommend like just doing a little deep dive.
Okay.
I think it should be pretty easy to find. Just to speak, the word. I'm sure Shauna does that too.
Yeah, I added a link in the text or in the chat actually to the website that I use that helps you to find what indigenous land you're living on, who are the people that it belongs to. And then a lot of times it's a little bit harder on the East Coast because the resources for these tribes is just not there. So you don't get as many. I live in the Southwest where our native people are very vibrant. You know, we were one of the last places to get colonized on the continent. So the names are a little bit easier to find. But that's a great place to start.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Very cool resource, Shauna. Native Land Digital. Cool.
And in some situations, you may live on land that's kind of like in the middle of a lot of other people's. And in that case, you can, whatever you find that's easier, it makes sense. Those are all names that these people have called these places. So really helpful.
Okay.
Nirakazi, I put another link in the chat too. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's going to help you or not, but I was just trying to Google like the indigenous name of your White Mountain place.
Oh, yeah. Great. Indigenous New Hampshire Collab, yes.
And then I saw, Shauna, you had a question in the chat. Are we translating place names into Hawaiian, or is it okay for us to use the indigenous names? Yeah, like I think that's better, the indigenous names of the place, because, well, the reason why we want to use the actual names of the place here, like an example would be Coconut Island over here is actually moʻokūʻauhau. So when we use the name moʻokūʻauhau, which is like the island of life, it's a honau, like it's a place of refuge, right? So a Honua, so it evokes like a deeper meaning, and the place remembers its purpose too. So can kind of bring those ancient vibes back when we use the old names.
I like to think of it as like, this is the name that these places know themselves by. Like this is the place this is the name that they've been called the longest. And, you know, especially I didn't grow up in Arizona where I live right now. And so it's been really nice to learn the names of even just the different cacti out here. They all have their own indigenous names that I didn't know. But as I'm learning it, I learned more about what those places and those plant people meant to the people whose land I call my home now. So yeah, cool stuff. Moʻokūʻauhau is my favorite. So I'm so happy to be here.
Thanks for coming, Shauna, and thanks for all your mana'o. It's great. How's everybody else doing?
Good. I'm finding the indigenous name. I'm stuck on that, so I'm doing research. Well, cancel. Okay.
feel like that's
Kyle, what valley in California are you from? Because I'm from Southern California too, so I could help you if you want some help with the research.
Thank you. I'm from Northern California, so it's the Bay Area.
Yeah.
It's Southern Valley in like San Jose,
I found it.
in the
Okay.
I guess the Evergreen Valley.
So that could be the Yurok people, I'm thinking, maybe. But yeah. And they are actually pretty strong people. They may have a website that has the names or maps that could be
Oh, wow.
helpful. So I'm gonna look and I'll get back to you.
Wow, thank you so much.
I have found it. Yay, I found the answer.
Ooh, what is it? What is it?
So the highest mount, I forgot, the one that I'm looking at right at my backyard. It's part of the White Mountains range. And the tallest one that I can see from my backyard is called Mount Washington. And the Native Americans call it, oh God, I'm gonna like butcher this. So Ajioko Chuk. And it was believed to be the summit of the home of the Great Spirit.
Wow.
Yeah, so like that's really awesome.
Does it say what that translates to? That's another
Oh boy.
rabbit hole you can go into.
What did the natives believing that I will have to do more. Yes, rabbit hole.
That's a beautiful name. Yay.
The Native Americans call it Geokochuk and didn't climb it. Believing that it's the summit was the home of the Great Spirit. Today it is a state park and it's a tourist location these days. We see a lot of cars that come back with a bumper sticker that says, "This car climbed Mount Washington."
Oh, you gotta say outside the window every time and say aloha to it by its name.
Oh, I will. I definitely will. And I'll put the link here. I've been following you all for a while, and I'm one of the crazy Kiai members in Maine, so I do my lele vale to this mauna, you know.
Oh, yes, I see. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Okay. Ho'onani, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Are you in Hawaii?
Oahu, yes.
Where are you from? Oahu? I say kalu.
Waimanalo.
Oh, okay. You're on my side. Windward. Wailani, you power already. Fill out. Oh,
Spring, so
or Camilla or Kyle. Did Kyle just? Oh, Kyle. No, that's Kyle.
Spring. Who I think is the word I want.
Camilla, no worries if you can't get off mute, but just let us know if you have questions. Okay, I'm gonna go check on the other groups, and then Steph, maybe whoever's ready can start trying to recite their moʻokūʻauhau.
Sounds good. Wailana, oh, sorry, I muted myself. Wailana, you have questions? Are you okay?
Yeah, I have to go visit.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, guys, I had to suck you back in.
No, thank you. Sorry. We had some good questions in our group.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Kawai. Yeah, and then we hooked up again with some of our peoples. Okay, how is you guys' groups? Let me listen to you. Who wants to go first? I like listen.
I'll go.
Okay.
Okay, so I could only go as far back as my parents. I still have more research to go. So here we go.
Perfect.
O Anya ing Solano no Limon, Costa Rica. O Ahura de Liza no Aotearoa. Hanau o Nerakazi he Pula Pula. O Casco Main Ku'u Kulaivi. O Adio Kochuk Ku'umauna. O Poland Spring Ko'uvai. Eola.
Hola. Lovely.
Mahalo.
Who's next? I know you want to go, Kayo. Honani.
Aloha.
Aloha.
O alapaki ka uluko kuali'i no honua po. O puahu nui keli o punui no opuhikau. Hana o saraku halahala kuali'i he pulapula. O saraku halahala kuali'i no honoli'i. O kolomona ka uhane no hono uliuli. Hana o Esther pahu anui ka uhane he pulapula. O Esther pahu anui ka uhane no kakako. O William makane ole no halehaka. Hana o Sarah Esther kahiko lau makali'i makane ole pula-pula. O Sarah Esther kahiko lau makali'i makane ole no pu'owaina. O Alfredo kekai rekomen no pa'awilo. Hana o Maile ho'onani rekomen he pula-pula. O ku'umoku o Oahu. O ku'umauna o Olomana. O ku'uwai o Waikupanaha. Ola.
Hola, Loa. Yeah. I love it. Oh, I heard all kind of familiar names. So this is the other thing, you guys. When you listen to moʻokūʻauhau from around the world, literally, yeah, you make connections to those mountains and those waters that you may have known, or somebody before you might have known, and this sort of, there's in there's hardly in Hawaii thinking there's hardly everything is permeable to one another. So if you get a little tingle, n- sometimes that's a little oh wait, like I know that, I just don't know how I know that, but I know that, yeah. So and then the other thing is that some of us hear familiar names, and so even if that maybe that chung is not the same chung as that chung, yeah, there's just the vibration of the word is that feeds us. So Kiali'i Opunui from Puna, right next door to Kaleopa'a from Puna. Okay, so now we've made some association. We don't know if we're related. That's not the point. The point is that I hope you all watch The Matrix. I love The Matrix. Not just for you know who, that one, but just for the idea that reality is not just this pin right in front of us. That when we living multi-dimensional lives, we have to expect that there are relationships being rediscovered all of the time. And that's why we come to this kind workshops, because I want to continually rediscover my relationships. Yeah, and I hope you do too. Okay, who's next? I look in you, KG. You know why I'm calling you out? You look like my nephew, that's why. So there we have it.
You look like my grandma. um, am I set up to go? Okay. Um, O Diana Ka'eo no Konahema, O Luis Santos no Kona Akua Kona Akau. Ha now o Minette Luis Ku'ualoha Santos, he pula pula. O Minette Louise Ku'ualoha Santos no Konahema. O James Harold Harris no Kauai. Ha now o Haroldine Kalenani Harris. He pula pula. O Haroldine Kalenani Harris no Honolulu. O Ronald Glasso no Rochester, New York. Ha now o Kyle Kikaimalu Glasso he pula pula. O San Jose Ku'u Avava. O Colinas de San Juan Batista Ku'u Pu'u. O Muwekma Oloni Ku'u Kahawai. Ola.
Hola loa.
Hola.
Woohoo!
Mahalo.
Yeah. And then Kaeo is the answering, yeah? Oh, that's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Who else wants to go? We have 6 more minutes. Nobody? Nobody? Okay, that's cool.
I'll give it a try.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
Okay. Oh, Bryant Godwin no New Yorker. Oh, Lucy Schumartz no Berlin Kelemania. Hano, oh, Conrad Godwin he Pula Pula. Oh, Conrad Godwin no New Yorker. No, oh, Mary Baldwin no New Yorker. Hano, oh, Bryant Goddard he Pula Pula. Oh, Bryant Goddard no New Yorker. Oh, Miriam Marcela Borman no Santiago, Chile. Hano, oh, Claudia Godwin he Pula Pula. O Manahata Ku'umoku. O Vaina Paka Ku'upu'u. O Atelanika Ku'ukai. Hola.
Hola. It was lovely. Okay, Gangi. So we're at the end of this this short vala vala ao talk story, and use this. You cannot too many times our children and our siblings, sometimes even our uncles and aunts or grandchildren, feel lonely because they don't have the other human that we've been trained to have to connect to. Okay, so our stories for the last 200 years have trained us that we must connect, or else we didn't do the whole gamut, or we didn't succeed, or whatever. What the moʻokūʻauhau, and the reason why we chose this mele right now, is not for you to miss your homes or your people or your that wasn't the purpose. Okay, the purpose of bringing that is to aloha that mountain that you go and visit, and every time you go and visit that mauna or that pu'u, they whisper to you, be calm, everything is good, your spirit is whole, maybe a little bit bust up on the outside, but breathe in the air, go in the water, wash off the outside, let the water permeate the skin, let us come together again. There's so many relationships we forget about between me and my star people and me and my mountaintops. Yeah, maybe they cannot talk English, but they talk a whole different vibratory language. No forget that language, you guys. No forget that language. We're super connected to the human parts of ourselves, but that's not the only part of ourselves. That's the point of bringing the moʻokūʻauhau to all my learners at all levels, so any community, is just to remind us that the human part of ourselves is a part of ourselves. The star people we see every night. Tonight, you go outside and you look up wherever you are, and whether you can see the stars or not, you thank them for coming out every dark time. Whether or not you can see the moon tonight, tomorrow night, or when the moon has light again, you go thank Grandmother Moon for being there all of these eons. That you can have food to eat because she persists. Tomorrow morning, you go thank Grandfather Sun for coming out all the time. We call him Kane Hoalani. Kane, the light, not Kane, the man, Kane, the atmosphere, Kane, the light, Kane, the heat. And you go thank him for coming out so that the plants can photosynthesize, so that the animals and the human people can eat the plants so that we can live. You go mahalo him for that. You say mahalo Grandfather Sun for that. Okay. When next time you go to the water, even though get plastic bottles and whatever floating in the water, you mahalo that water. Don't disparage that water for being polluted. I bet you any money you spend enough energy disparaging of something and saying mahalo to the something is going to shift. It's going to redesign itself to something better. Our physiology is made up, I'm sure you've heard this over and over and over, but don't forget that your physiology is made of what's underneath the grass and the tarmac and the asphalt. Your physiology is made up of what's up, star, dirt, and dust. Same that's our peeps up there, bruh. That's them. No forget the next stray cat that walks past you, even though it looks like it wants to eat you. It's like, ooh, oh my God. No forget, we share more DNA than you expect we share. Just say aloha and mahalo for surviving. You're not looking very good, but you go get your life. Carry on. You know? The human part of us is only is the physical manifestation, but in all of those organs and in the bone structure and in the vibration that comes from the thinking mind and the Leo, there is everyone else. Okay? And that's why we brought you the moʻokūʻauhau today. There's no reason to be lonely. Everyone else around you, that lychee tree over there, yeah, this is my granddaughter's favorite friend in the whole life world. For real. Okay? So you go have a nice, take that to your dream space. Lonoa Honua has all kinds of fun programming. There's you go look for it. I was supposed to spend, every time I forget this kind of thing, I was supposed to spend a little bit more time talking about the programming, but there is a Oli class. We have a brand new course coming out called Kamoi. It's gonna be intense, maybe too intense. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's gonna be light and fun. Kamoi is really looking at transformational myth frameworks and applying those frameworks to dreams. One of the simplest courses to digest, though, is Oli Honua. Is the Oli class. Yeah, it's pretty affordable and easy to digest. We have hula programs. We have stewardship programs. We always have communal ceremonies around the seasonal, during the pathway of the sun. Sometimes on full moon nights, I'll get ready for a full moon night and I'll just pop in on the FB lives and say, guys, let's chant to the moon. And then other weird people will join us. I'm just saying. Okay. So, love you all so much. Mahalo for allowing us a little bit of time in your space. And then maybe we talk Mumbai. How's that?
Mahalo.
Mahalo nui, Auntie. Oh, thank you
Mahalo.
so much, everybody. This was
Mahalo nui. That was fun.
Mahalo nui.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Ahui ho. Hui ho
Go.
Chris. Hui ho Kyle.
Alama.
Nice to meet you.
Mahalo, hello, bye.
Aole
Aloha.
Pilikia. Hui ho Kiki. Hui ho Ho'onani.
Hui ho.
Hui ho Nina. Hui ho Lourdes. Hui ho Steve. Hui ho Ikahihi Fo. Hui ho Nicole. Mahalo. Thanks you, Stacy.
Oh, mahalo nui. Mahalo piha to you and Lonoa Honua. I mean, this is amazing. This is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
I can't, we are absolutely grateful to have you guys be a part of our space and to share your time with us. I can't imagine that this isn't going to result in not only just us coming closer and together, but hopefully a deeper connection with New York and your lahui. Mahalo nui.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything that we can do, let me know, and we'll be more than happy.
Just let people know what's going on in our paid world, and we'll keep you abreast of our communal events. Most of them are free, and we're happy to come back to this space in a few months if you want that.
Absolutely. Amy, do you mind just stopping recording for a moment?